I tell a lot of people like, say they want to make videos or they want to make a vlog or a podcast or even some like simple recordings like voice memos or something. It's like, dude, just like like use your computer, your phone. Like you probably have GarageBand or an app or something you can download even, and maybe you could then like take that audio and then drop it into Pro Tools or something, or maybe Reaper or something free and just like EQ it a little bit, and you'll be surprised at what a little compression does, and
Yeah,
it's cool.
yeah, yeah. There is a whole process of making this sort of type of medium,
Hmm.
but it's not necessary unless somebody's paying for it in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, your phone
True.
is a pretty decent tool.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. The other cool thing, I guess, kind of like on this note is I think it's cool how everyone is kind of in that boat though, where everyone's like, shit, I need this thing or whatever. And it's kind of everyone's really forced to like figure out how to use what they have. And I don't know, recording, like for me, I don't have a
I'm a little
pace.
concerned with the watering down of things. That's my that's my concern. Everybody and their grandmother's jumping on and giving away content for
Yeah.
pennies or a tip jar or it just devalue. There's a lot of devaluing going on right now, not just with
Hmm.
the general state of money. But I mean art and what I do. My product is being constantly threatened daily.
Totally.
With coming out and doing stuff for next to nothing. I mean, there's a I appreciate the human nature part of it, but there is also an aspect of like, hey guys, you're coming into my lane now a little bit, and all of you guys are throwing that stuff all over the place, and just could you think about that? I mean, for your own benefit too.
Totally.
For first and foremost, your own benefit, because what do you think you're going to get out of this? And if everybody continues to do this way, that genie is never going to get put back. I mean, it's pretty much already out of the bottle with no return, but
Yeah,
you're really kind of nailing the coffin shut at this point.
totally.
Yeah, it's a well, hey man, this whole situation is beyond bizarre.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to keep it once a week, try and do the podcast and like really just put them on YouTube as kind of that's more like low key, I think. I don't have that many subscribers either. And maybe I'll post a cool one every once in a while. Or somebody who I have like an internet connection with, but you know, I don't post all of them by all those means. And then yeah, like, I don't know. Shows are really my main form of content before. It was like, oh, check out this whatever clip or whatever. Or, I don't know. It was just like I recorded this gig. Check it out, and then I would put it up or release a live album or something or I don't know, featuring so and so or whatever. And now that's not a thing. So I'm kind of having just to create new ways of coming up with content, and I don't know, kind of doing them all simultaneously right now is like ridiculous. But I kind of feel that like if I can keep these things going though, like dude, this is really sad, but I see so many fucking posts on Facebook recently and shit where people are like, I'm quitting music, like, or I haven't picked up my instrument. I'm not gonna name these people, but like great players that are just like totally just losing it right now. And it's like we really might be like the only ones who like kind of like survival of the fittest or like like who can make it the longest or something like almost like is super applicable right now.
Yeah, well, anybody who's I I can't wrap my head around anybody who's saying I don't want to play music anymore. That's as God,
Say
if there was ever a time that you'd be thankful that you play an instrument, this would be it. This is an amazing opportunity to sit down and retool your entire creative output.
true.
So what are we doing? Are you uh, this is for your podcast, right? So are
Totally.
you recording this at some point? Are we recording this now?
Yeah, I got it recorded.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess we're editing that part out.
Totally.
So
Yeah, yeah. No worries.
yeah.
It'll
All right. So
release.
informal podcast. Gotcha. All right. Was there any specific thing that was there any specific direction you wanted to take?
Not really. I normally have no specific goal. I mean, you were saying you wanted to talk about the albums and stuff. That sounds super cool. Normally I ask like kind of basic questions, about guitar, like what have you been working on, like specifically harmonically or exercises, or how do you warm up is another question I normally ask. And then what have you been listening to? And then it just kind of goes from there, really.
Okay, well, you're the host. Where do you want to start?
What you been listening to?
I have been. What have I been listening to? My uh, we have records in the house,
Mm,
and
it's always cool.
we've had a terrible um, we've had a terrible streak of bad luck with record players.
Same, yeah.
We keep, it also comes down to it's a little unfair for me to be the judge because I have a little bit of a different ear
Hmm.
than, but it's undeniable stuff. It's not like I'm picking out things that people can't hear. We're buying stuff where the what do you call it, the platter, the motor that's spinning the platter, all of a sudden starts to get inconsistent. So then
Mm,
you have pitch fluctuations, and
totally.
then there's just been different things where each one of these things has been crapping out in like 6 months.
Yeah,
So
right on.
okay, fine. It came down to you're getting what you pay for.
True.
So right before this all went to shit,
Hmm.
um, I was I had made the decision. Okay, I get it. I get the hint. It's just like anything else. I mean, I've made a whole life out of seeking out proper gear and stuff like that, learning about it, and this and that. So I set out to get. I was going to put together a system, like a real deal system with a weighted arm, and all the stuff.
Okay.
And then once this went down, it's like, you know what? I got to be really careful with the pennies. So we're
Yeah,
going to
true.
have to, whip out the old tape player
Mm,
and start taking out the tapes that my wife and I, rocked when we're high
same.
school sweethearts.
Oh
Going
wow,
back,
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
going back, we met in 1989. So we have quite a few tapes
That's cool.
from both of our collective collections. So the tape player has been quite popular, and so has the CD player as we progressed through the 90s and 2000s and stuff like that. So we've been opening up those boxes because it's all been in storage. And so there has been an array of stuff in the house. A lot of it is from our past, but I mean, I'd like to think that I have a broad enough musical taste where it doesn't only sound like, you're turning back to some MTV program in the mid 90s and then that's it. There's everything going on from, oh wow, I haven't listened to this Duke record
Mm,
in forever. Holy crap, here's all our Dead Can Dance
yeah.
albums, to the Descendants, which by the way, we opened up the box of D's. So that's
Okay.
why those are in my
Yeah.
head right
Word.
now. Yeah.
That's cool
So
though.
that's what it's been. It's been a mishmash of stuff, but we also have two teenage boys,
Right on.
um, a senior and a sophomore in high school. And we completely welcome them to turn us on to and suggest and be the DJs, at dinner time or during the day. You go upstairs and it's a whole different musical
Yeah,
environment, which
sure. That's cool.
I'm completely satisfied with. That's so great because they also have a very broad musical taste. Um, and without them, I wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
their
true.
world, I wouldn't know. That's how everybody finds out about music. When you're a kid, that's all you guys do. That's what we do. We
Yeah.
tell each other about music. But at my age, people don't tell each other about shit. And most people, they don't even talk to each other. But most people have really no interest outside of musicians. Don't really have interest in music
Yeah.
that
That's not a
isn't
question.
from that time they were 20 something years old.
Sure. Yeah, and normal people don't ask each other like, "What are you listening to?" Like that's not. I don't feel like that's a common question anymore.
No, it's not. It's well, because listening to music is so different now. It's
Yeah,
such a
true.
different culture. Uh,
It's all like visual. Like everybody wants like music videos.
well, I mean, I literally watched MTV come on TV. I'm 48 years old in a couple months, and
Okay.
I saw the dawn of that. Literally saw
Mm,
the very beginning of it. So that's definitely not a new thing. But I get what you're saying. But man, it's so different. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
indescribably different from my perspective. there's just so many things that don't exist and so many things that do exist that if you were to tell me about this when I was 15 or even 25,
Yeah.
I would look at you like, with the rightfully with a face like you're out of your mind. I don't even know what is that?
Yeah.
Don't touch them. I'll deal with them. I'll come up with it. I don't know what. No, we got a lot of stuff coming. So I guess the Amazon parade has
Yeah. Right on. Cool.
has hit for the day and stuff. Which, as much as I hate to put more money in Jeff Bezos' pocket,
Yeah.
there's just some stuff that's a necessary evil, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are you listening to?
A bunch of stuff, dude. I would really got back into like Return for Forever, Chick Corea, and,
Yeah.
let's see, I'm going. I've been really into Joey Landreth lately. Do you know him? He plays like a C standard, kind of like Les Paul-y looking thing.
What is his main gig?
He has like the Landreth brothers, and then like he also
That's what I thought you were talking about. Right. Yeah.
and and
Return to Forever. What era are you listening to? What records?
live stuff actually. I've listened to some of the stuff, and like I feel like everybody always tells me like, yeah, you got to check out Chick, and you gotta listen and blah blah blah, and then I just like never do, which is just kind of like arrogant, I guess. And then I would say like just going through, I was trying to look at my freaking talk about not know how to do stuff. Where's my
Well, the quintessential Demiola record is Romantic Warrior.
right?
That is like I believe that's what put Demiola on the map.
Yeah, right on. I was always curious about that.
Man, when it comes to live stuff, let me tell you, there was this time where I was in regular contact with this guy. I forgot where he was. Doesn't matter. And he had a directory online. A very primitive looking directory. That's all that shit was back in 2000, whatever. And he was selling bootleg CDs of live performances, and it was definitely the lion's share of his stuff was fusion.
Okay.
In this CD case,
cool.
it was great. It was great. This was right at the dawn of the Napster thing, and this was when everybody was starting to figure out the internet was going to ruin eventually ruin the music industry. But the music industry was totally like, no, you're not. But this collection that I met, I mean, this is pure gold. I should rip all these and just get them,
drop them somewhere.
Get them into my Apple Music library. I mean, look, I just opened up to Alan Holdsworth, April 2000.
Master.
Herbie, Dave Holland, Pat Metheny, Jack DeJohnette, Philadelphia, 1990. Let's see, King Crimson, Denver, Colorado.
Whoa.
March 12th, 1973.
All over the place.
That's what this stuff was, man. Wayne Krantz.
I love Wayne Krantz. He's one person I actually like post COVID got into. Another person, everyone's like, check out this person, and I just kind of put it off, and I don't really know.
Oh wow! So Wayne's a new thing for you?
Literally, like,
wow,
maybe a month now or something. I've been listening to him.
You just man. Well, buckle up. That is a life-changing experience. Discovering Wayne.
I feel like almost all my teachers have told me to check him out at one point. I just arrogantly did it.
Good for them. They should.
And they're just like, who you'd really dig? Wayne Krantz. And I'm like, okay, but then I turned on 2 Drink Minimum, and I was like, holy fuck, dude. Oh my God. Like, this is what I've been trying to do my whole life. And
yeah. That, and the word of mouth has been the ultimate source of how Wayne has built. I mean, look,
yeah, we're sitting here talking
taking nothing away from what he does and who he is and what he stands for, but the word, I've said this a bunch of times when he comes up in especially in this type of conversation.
Yeah,
Wayne is one of the first independent musicians that I know of that first of all, used the internet in the way that we take for granted today. And he was one of the first independent musicians I ever took notice of that embraced the concept of being an independent musician and saying, this is who I am. I am an artist who has, something, many things to offer, and I'm going to put them out there and market them and sell them and make, and create this
Okay.
personal dynasty. And he was doing this stuff before there were any tag words for that, and there was any blueprint for that. And there was, people with phones readily in their pockets to check out anything they wanted and stuff. It really pioneering, and this is outside, of course, the completely unique playing style. But when it comes to that part of him, that I hope history doesn't forget about, or people should know this now and talk about this, because he is such an innovator when it comes to the type of livelihood that people like myself have enjoyed, and worked hard on to maintain and be able to continue to doing what we do as a musician. It's because a lot of the things that he did, and looking at, like, you didn't even understand what do you what?
Yeah.
And you went along with it, and you got to connect to him in ways before many people were putting themselves out there to be connected with. So for that, he is a ultimate pioneer.
That's cool though.
I mean, but of course, playing his ass off, and the music is so unique and so invigorating and so challenging, and in a good way. And that's great that you're getting turned on to him. I believe that he started a Patreon.
Oh, really?
Where he is, I think he's putting up something every day, like he's doing commentary every day.
Whoa.
And that's another part about Wayne that's very cool. He's a well thought out and very unique person.
Yeah.
And he
seems really unique. I'll say that.
He's got an outlook on things that's really poignant and really powerful.
Yeah. I like him.
Yeah, well,
cool dude. I resonate with him. He seems weird in a good way. And I like that.
Great.
Also, Speak No Evil, Wayne Shorter.
Wow.
And Herbie on that record is just crazy. Like I don't even know. I feel like there's some stuff, like, as far as the chords go, or like you try to lay him out, and he's like, you really can't play some of the shapes because he really uses so many of his fingers. It's like we're lucky to get 6 notes, maybe 4 or whatever. And dude, he's got some hard voicings in there and stuff that's hard to put names to. It's like you either have to like call it half whole diminished or messiaen or something. Sharp 5, sharp 9, flat 9, major 7. It's like these are not like I don't know. I guess you could like call them by a mode or something, but it's not like you could just be like B minor and you could just play the song.
Yes and no. Yes. So there's some truth to that. There is definitely some unfortunate myths to that too. One of the things I've found over the years is what I thought was as complex. What I thought was that complex was not, and it was the combination of simple things that come together in a strategic and clever way to make the output have that sound. But the components, when you break them down, it was, oh, okay, I can digest that and that and that and that. But
I do kind of agree with that. Everybody has like a really specific thing. Like the drums have that really triplety feel even over the 3 songs. It's like, and it's not necessarily like, it's not that like, I don't know, it's a different kind of swing. And then Herbie's got his colors. And then I feel like Wayne on that album is just kind of like he's either going up or he's going down. That might be kind of like arrogant to say or something, but he's got this really particular like angular sound more than normal on that record, I think. And yeah, those are just the 3 things that came to mind when you said that. But
great. Well, that is a fantastic renaissance you're going through. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It'll go on for quite a while. There's so many things connected to just those artists right there. That music that is, Yeah, that'll make you feel glad
I've
to be
been
alive.
I've been trying to play the slide a lot more. It's
Okay, check this out.
I'm in.
So an old student of mine from my Berkeley days contacted me and said that he's come up with an invention.
Hmm,
Not the first time I've seen this, but it's the first time I've actually had one in my hand. And he's got a different take on it. So he created these things called finger slides.
right on.
Um, let me see if I got this right. The point is to have it on the tip of your finger, and you know, and the slide is there instead of having the whole thing taken up. So he sent me one for each one of my fingers. So there's one for my
Okay,
middle, and
interesting.
there's one for my. Where does this one go? Oh, maybe this one goes here. So I'm still figuring out who is supposed to go where. But in theory, oh no, shit! I hope I didn't just break that. But anyway, they're supposed to go on the tips, and his demos are great. He's a great player, uh, and he sounds great with them and stuff. So you know, if the longer slide is giving you some problems, you should give these things a look. I think he's just calling them finger slides. It's
I know.
simply calling them that. He's in a beta stage, so yeah, we'll see. But if you really want to push the envelope, um, have you played a fretless guitar yet?
No, I just watched a video of some dude playing a fretless baritone, and my girlfriend plays the cello, and it's a thing that I've been kind of dabbling with, the whole fretless thing. And I grew up playing upright in school, and like it was more orchestra stuff, but I'm moderately familiar with fretless instruments. But I really enjoyed the sound of that baritone. I was like, damn, like sounds like straight cello. Honestly, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, they're all that's under the roof here. Barry, a bass six, fretless, and stuff like that, and they're all fantastic. But the fretless thing really, man,
Yeah, yeah. I
when
have
that bug did, I was
I have
I
like a
was
shitty
completely hooked.
Stratocaster. Like it. Oh, this way. It's fuck. This way. This one. This
Oh,
Stratocaster.
right. Yes, the
But,
one that has been gutted.
yeah, yeah. I built it into another guitar. It's in the closet. But I was like, I can make that guitar into a fretless guitar. I mean, it's already like
Oh, sure.
such a Frankenstein. I might as well.
Yeah,
And
why not? I don't
no,
have it handy.
I really do think that there's some science to the fretless thing. At least you don't have to do it like all the time, but you could. And in general, dude, I don't know. The guitar is so unforgiving with the tuning. You know what I mean? Like the what is it? The equal temperament. Just everything's kind of like you're a little bit out of tune. Like perfectly in tune. And then I don't have like the greatest uh, ear. I tend to go a little sharp personally, and I don't know when you're fretless, it's a little easier to be in tune for sure. At least for me, not specifically, but there is something about hearing like the note itself and then hearing like if you're in tune or not. Like it's like a times two thing as opposed to us. We're just like, oh, it's it's G.
Just plug into a tuner.
Yeah, right on. Totally. I have been practicing with the tuner in front of me in general, just to be a little bit more conscious.
Yep, just do that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
uh I got this bad boy pretty recently, a little lap
Oh,
steel,
right on.
and
Cool.
it's horribly out of tune. There's like probably I don't even know. It's still snowing. It's like probably 8 inches of snow at this point. It's making everything go out of tune. It was like 80 degrees yesterday. It's ridiculous.
Wait, did you say snow?
Hmm.
Where are you?
In Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Disaster.
Wow.
So
Oh, man.
I kind of
Okay.
left it right by the window last night, and I woke up and I was like, "Damn, that thing is gonna be out of tune." But,
Is
uh,
that normal for you guys for mid-April?
sometimes it snows in like June, so it's kind of crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we're
Wow.
so high here though. Like I live at like almost 5,000 feet or something, so it's
I lived in Western Massachusetts for almost 3 years, and
I wonder what the temperature.
that was a more extended winter than we were normally used to. That was basically snow started probably mid to late October and kept going pretty consistently until about the middle of April.
Mm.
Definitely through March. You would have the ground would be white,
Yeah.
and some days were just a dusting, other days, you get walloped and stuff like that. But
It's
man,
pretty snowy here from like October to I don't know February, and then it gets nice, and then it like snows like a little bit every other couple days, but then it gets warm,
wow. Man.
and then
Hey,
it
a good friend of mine is in your area.
okay.
If you ever want to try to hook up with him, his name is David Walleman. I don't know how. Well, shit. I don't know. Wait, you're in Colorado. He's in Colorado. That doesn't mean you guys are anywhere near each other. But
Yeah,
are you close to Denver? I think he's in Denver.
not too far. Only about an
Yeah,
hour.
I believe he's in Denver or like an outskirts of Denver. But
Cool.
well, if you should look him up if you're not familiar with him. He's a fantastic player. He's got a YouTube channel that's pretty active,
Sweet.
very active actually, pretty successful with that and stuff. But good player, great teacher, great hang and stuff. So if you have the opportunity to hook up with him in person,
Sweet.
maybe he's
Yeah.
not that far away from you.
Maybe I'm just not that connected. I feel like there's good players everywhere. I don't want to talk shit about it, but like, it's so hard to find people out here who can really hang. Like specifically, I had to write music that was simpler just so I could play gigs with people. Like if I was playing solo gigs, I could play whatever I wanted because I was driving. You know what I mean? But like when I started playing with the people I could find and who are free and stuff, I was like, "Come on, little buddy, work on." It's like is dragging people along. It was crazy. But it's like, all right, we're just playing G and C. Like it's kind of crazy.
And you figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, for sure. And that was kind of an interesting thing too, though, because at the time I was like, everything needs to be 7/8 and polyrhythms, and I need to play, the most complicated form and song and chords and whatever. And but not really. But to an extent, I was doing some of that stuff pretty freely. And then I was like, oh, not everyone can do that, especially when you're just kind of like hiring people you don't know to play gigs. And there's not a lot of people who are like schooled either. It's not like you could just call somebody that you like, oh well, he went to music school, he could probably hang.
Just
But yeah,
because they went to music school does not mean a thing. Trust me.
I agree with that. But there's a little bit of security there. But that's true though too. I definitely when I was at school there was some trumps even still. It's just like, how did you get in?
Yeah. So what else did you want to know? Oh, about the records that
Yeah.
I meant.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting, my first thought right before we logged onto this, I was thinking about your albums. And you were saying, like you already have them recorded and you haven't released them yet. That is mind blowing to me. Normally, as soon as I get it done, I just release it, and then it's like available to the world in like 48 hours. It's kind of strange, but anyways, that's cool.
Yes, I agree. I got you on that one. Well, everybody's got a different. Every project has a process that's unique to it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's lots of things that happen in the background that you may or may not be aware of or ever need to find out and stuff like that. And and stuff just happens the way it happens.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there's 3 projects I've been sitting on, all recorded.
Cool. That's
1
good.
live record and 2 proper studio. Well, 1 proper studio record, 1 completely live record, recorded every week at a residency I was doing, and then
kind of
1 record that was recorded in a studio but live. There was no tracking. So let's start with the complete 100% studio project.
Mm-hmm.
That's called Red Right Return, all one word. It's something my father used to. It's a nautical term. It's my father would say that to me when we were driving the boat. And he would want me to take him out on rides. After a long day, to say let's go, and I drive. He got to sit and just turn the day off.
Cool.
So it was one of the things he used to say all the time. 3 R's, Red Right Return. He also said 3 R's were reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Okay.
But yes, spoken from somebody who was born in 1928 and
Oh,
spent
wow.
most of his life working with his hands building houses and
That's
laying
cool though.
brick. So Red Right Return had a couple iterations, but it ended up being something that is fantastically satisfying. I got into a situation where I had the means to record a really good record, and I
That's
had the
cool though.
means to get the right people to
That's
play
important.
this music that I've been cultivating going all the way back to the late 90s when I was living in Brooklyn with Dave Fuzinski of the Screaming Headless Torsos.
Okay.
Um, so here is this situation where the stars aligned, where I could have Tipan Pasuk, Siren Tip, rewrite these tunes. That's a whole other story.
Mm.
But we wrote these tunes together, and then we had a fantastic young drummer play on it. He was 19 years old when he recorded on this stuff.
Dang.
I think Alex Silvergold. And we had Evan Marion play bass on it. And
I really like him a lot. I didn't know you were playing with him. That's awesome. He's crazy.
that's the first time we did. I've known Evan since I think he was just, when I first started teaching at Berkeley, I believe he was just getting out.
Oh, okay.
He was, I met him through Fuse because he was one
Hmm.
of Fuzinski's prodigies. And back then, just as many people were, many
Yeah.
people. Dave kind of became, I don't know if he still is. Dave was always like a Miles Davis type of character where if you were looking for a young new player
Hmm.
that was going to make a mark, and they were, they were getting gigs with older, seasoned musicians. Dave was that musician, and
Mm.
he was the guy who had a great um, sense, of talent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
man, so Evan Marion, Hiromi, Steve
Mm.
Jenkins,
Damn.
Tony Gray,
That's
um,
crazy.
I'm trying to think of some of the other, Nicky Glaspie.
Okay.
Um, these are all players I met when they were kids
Yeah.
playing with Fuse,
That's
and just coming out of Berkeley and stuff like that. So I've known Evan for quite a while, but this was the first time that we had an opportunity to do something. And Justin, um, I loosely knew Justin through other people I knew in Snarky Puppy,
hmm
and we ended up at a place called the Rockwood in New York to go see Bob
familiar.
Lanzetti's CD release party when he
Okay.
put out his solo record. Evan was there, great to see him. Justin was there. It was a good time to just get to know each other and hang, and we watched Bob's set. It was wonderful and stuff. And then when the opportunity came up for this record,
Yeah.
and I had thrown the ideas about who we can get to play on the record, and I threw a couple different scenarios, and they were the top choice of people making the decision. Let's see if Evan and Justin are into it. And
Yeah. That sounds cool. That sounds
it
cool.
was, yeah, it is. It took a second to get everybody's schedules together,
Yeah, that's the
for
hardest
obvious
part.
reasons, but we somehow made it happen. We never rehearsed as a full band.
Sweet.
As a
I like
matter of fact, throughout the entire process, I don't think we've ever been in the same room. All five of us have ever been in the same room.
that. Nice.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because we tracked the record, of course.
Hmm.
Um, even the rehearsals. We got together with Evan at one point, one day,
Yeah.
and we got together with Justin one day. Me, the drummer, and me, Alex, and Tipan. And that's just the way it played out. We got to rehearse one time with each of them, and then we went in and recorded this semi-difficult music and made this record. And from there, Nick Hard mixed it.
Okay.
He
Familiar.
mixes a lot of the ground up records that you hear, including all the Snarky Puppy stuff for a while after he took over after somebody close to them had passed away who was doing that up until that point.
Mm.
Nick took over and has since, like Nick mixed Culture Vulture that won a
Okay.
Grammy.
Sure. Wow.
Nick mixed and recorded those records that Snarky Puppy and Pocanti did with the Metropole Orchestra.
Those are some
So
wild.
that was really, really fun to work with him. He's so good at what he does, and he's such a great hang. So we mixed the record with
That's
him.
important, I think. I've
Absolutely is. Absolutely
heard
is.
of
Yeah.
the I guess the engineer is the word, where you walk in and the guy's just like vibing you instantly, and it's just like kind of just really
Well,
awkward. Like,
that has no place. There's no place for that. The guy who tracked the Red Right Return record, his name is Tim Pinella. It was done at Lake House Studios in Asbury Park. He
okay,
was fantastic. His
cool.
he was just so good at what he does. He recorded, not just did his job really well, the audio part, but as the guy in the tracking position becomes the foreman really on the job, unless there's unless there's a bona fide producer in there and he's got a certain way and he's barking out his commands. The tracking engineer, it has to really steer the ship. I
Yeah,
mean, I was the de facto, I guess by default, I became the producer, the music producer of the project, but I absolutely included and let Tim do that part, and we did it together and stuff. But yeah, without him, I don't know how we would have. It wouldn't be the project it is without Tim. No way. It also wouldn't be the project it is without Nick coming in and doing, the mix that you could only have dreamed of. And then
what?
we had um, for mastering, we just kept with that same formula that Snarky Puppy usually uses, and a lot of guys uses. I know Charlie Hunter actually was the one that suggested this guy to me. Um, oh my
Okay, I
God,
love Charlie. I just started kind of recently getting in contact with him, and he's been nothing but super nice to me. So
Charlie is a fantastic human being.
I
He
don't
is a
know
very
why. I guess he's just so good. He's one of those guys that you just kind of like put on this pedestal or something. And I was not, I guess, intimidated to talk to him. And he's only
well. Hey man,
showered me with love.
Charlie is that good, but
Yeah,
he is a fantastic human being. He
true.
is one of my favorites. He's one of my favorite human beings. So he
What's
suggested this guy Dave McNair, and
okay?
Dave used to be the Dave is one of the guys. He has
Hmm.
mastered records that are that matter. So it
Yeah,
was very nice of
cool.
him to master my little record and stuff.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, this I have the sonically and musically, one of the best things I've ever been involved with. By far the best thing I think I've ever put out sonically, but no doubt
Hmm.
about it. So I cannot wait.
Sick.
We're doing cover, and the reason why it's been so long, one of the reasons is we really wanted to get a label behind it.
Hmm.
It completely deserves it, and we spent a lot of time trying to do that. And one label in particular, we thought it was going to be a home run, so we let a lot of time go by, and it unfortunately turned out to not work out.
Yeah, right
And
on.
that wasted about 6 or 7 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that threw things off, and
Sure.
other things were going on, and so
What are your thoughts on like why you want to release it on a record versus, or yeah, record label versus not, or doing it yourself?
my primary drive for that was a a marketing arm,
Sure.
a machine, a well-oiled machine
Hmm.
that is in place to put something out. Because putting music out now, obviously the rules are completely different.
Yeah.
And if I'm to put out music all by myself, which is probably in some way, shape, or form what's going to happen
Hmm.
with that one, along with the other ones,
Okay.
I don't have that machine. I also don't have those deep
A lot of
connections.
work.
I don't even know a lot of the procedures. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes.
Hmm.
And that's just probably is what it is. So I was trying to get myself involved with a system that was already in place
That makes
that
sense.
that would make that happen. And I really believe, I still do believe that music should have been in the place I was trying to get it to, because it makes sense. It was a lot of relationships involved with people who played on the record and with people I was talking to about doing it,
Hmm.
that it made sense on every level for this
Sure.
to be put in the place I was trying to get it in. And it ultimately didn't go in that direction. So, you know, I've been taking this time to to put energy into that because
Yeah.
it just needs to get out. And there is a little, I don't have this tremendous amount of extra time that other people have, because a lot of what I do was kind of designed for a situation like this.
Mm.
So I'm still just as busy as I was before there was a pandemic.
Right.
But there is a certain amount of time that is being spent that I am home 24/7 for the most part, outside of going out to get food and medicine.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that extra time and getting these things out. Red Right Return is one of them. So like I said, record's done,
Cool.
doing artwork,
That's half the
getting
battle.
all the media ready, getting all the assets ready, getting a website ready, which it is complete. There is a domain, there is a website up, it's live.
Mm.
But just putting all the pieces together that a well-oiled machine would be doing. Now it's
Yeah.
me.
Totally. I feel that
But
way.
that takes time, and you don't want to. I want to try to make at least, the least amount of mistakes I can.
Mm.
But in the end, it'll be what it's going to be. I will try my best to get the word out, so I don't release music out to the world of unlimited options for people to listen to. Like, how do I get you to know that this is out there? And
Yeah.
that's the nut I'm trying to crack with that, because the record is too good to be just put out there and be lost in this
Yeah.
incredibly large array of choices.
Especially right now, man. I mean, everybody's just releasing shit like every day, and it's like all the
It's
time.
the way yeah, I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That is the that has been the new reality. So,
But it's
yeah.
even more so
Um,
from
yep.
post-COVID.
So
But
there's
yeah,
that.
that's cool.
CB3 is the middle of the road. That is a studio record that was done live. So that is my organ trio.
That's my favorite way to record, personally.
That is a full-on wonderful organ player. His name is Ben Stivers, who has got that right hand, left hand bass thing cold,
Right.
among other things. Ben is he's a fantastic player of things that you play with both hands, meaning his synth playing is killing, his organ playing is killing, his lefty hand bass organ playing is killing, his piano playing is killing, his electric piano playing, because these are all different approaches.
Mm-hmm.
He is a master at all of these. And, he's a fantastic
Really
improviser. He's a
I
great
feel like
hang.
people don't give the organ enough credit. I grew up with an organ. My mom found like a Hammond on Craigslist, which is just like ridiculous. But like the whole bass at the feet thing, and just learning like the
He
two
does that too.
levels and
Yep, he
just
does that too.
sounds of it, dude. Like there's so many sounds. You can definitely sound really shitty on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Organ is, like I said, they're all instruments. They're
Yeah.
all, it's just because it's the same thing with guitar. Hey, you play the guitar, so you play the bass, right? No.
Yeah, no.
I would never say that and insult the guys that I know that play the bass,
True.
that they're bass players, just as much as they would say, oh, so you play the guitar, and they'll look at you and go, not really.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. So Ben is one of those guys that he sits down at anything and plays that instrument at its best. He makes that instrument look and sound its best. So he's me and him write all the tunes, and the drummer is Tobias Ralph. And both of these, I've known both of these guys for decades. I've played with them over the years, many different things, and there was an opportunity where I could do this summer residency in Asbury Park, this thing called Jams on the Sand. And the person who coordinates it and created this thing, it's this concert series that happens once a week on the beach, every week in the summer. And the guy who created it is an old friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's very good at what he does, very good booking agent. And his name is Ed Meyer. He presented me with an opportunity to open up a summer's worth of these gigs.
Yeah.
And I was doing a trio residency, and that's where the live record's coming from. The completely live record is coming from that residency.
Sweet.
And we were thinking about bringing that to the stage. And I thought, he was like, you know what? Can I try something else?
Yeah.
Because the trio thing I was doing was great. But I was thinking, I had an organ trio in the back of my mind for a while. And the trio thing I was doing it live at Clancy's, this place called Clancy's Tavern. That was great. Have you ever heard of a band called Thank You Scientist?
No.
You need to.
Okay.
You need to listen to Thank You Scientist. They are fantastic, modern, progressive
Okay.
They play the best, funnest form of progressive music.
Mm.
Um, and I hope that that's not doing them an injustice. When you hear it, it's very unique.
I
But
think
that rhythm
fun
section,
and progressive are like two words that don't often go together, so that's cool.
it's really good stuff. And the rhythm section for that band was my rhythm section for this residency that I was doing at the time. But I
Okay.
really wanted to do an organ trio. So I had this opportunity that afforded me to put that together. So
Sweet.
in like 2 months, Ed and I, with Ed's help, I made CB3 exist.
Mm.
I mean, logo, merch, website,
Yeah.
everything. So when that thing launched, when the press releases went out, if you went to look us up, we existed.
Cool.
Social media, videos. We went into a studio in Freehold called Coffee House Studios, and we recorded 3 live tunes that were multicam,
Damn.
and this and that. So we
The part.
made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel
so
like
all of a sudden here was CB3, and then we eventually made a record, which we just recorded last. When did we record that record? Tail end of last summer.
okay.
Um, we eventually, and then we made that record, and it was everybody scattered.
Mm.
Tobias went on the road. I forgot who he went on the road with. Ben went on the road with Lyle Lovett. We had 2 guests. We had Bob play on it. Bob immediately went on the road, I believe,
Yeah.
with Snarky Puppy. It wasn't Bocante. And Osnoy played on it, and he immediately went to, I think, Japan.
Oh wow.
So we made that record in 3 days,
Mm.
2 days, 2 days, I think, of tracking, something like that, 3 days max. Just before everybody, again, it was like a scheduling thing,
Yeah.
and we were able to do it. And everybody scattered, so we couldn't mix the record until Ben got back. So we mixed the record in the fall, and then we were gearing up to master it with Dave
Yeah.
McNair, and then this started. This was on the not really. We were talking about mastering, and just I was busy with stuff and this and that, and then 2020 has not been kind, and not just with this. It's been a rough go for a couple of circumstances here. So that threw things off.
Yeah.
So here we are today, and I just spoke to Ben yesterday and said, "This is my plan. Are you into it?" Yes. I made the call that I had to make to who's going to master it. They said yes. So here we go. So that
Cool.
record is going to get mastered. There is a guy doing the cover art. His name is Shem Fu.
I like
His
it.
artwork is amazing. Man, wow, it's an event to look at his stuff. So he's doing an album cover for us, and
The album cover is really important, I think. I feel like a lot of people kind of look
absolutely,
at that.
absolutely. That's one of the reasons. That's another big reason why the Red Right Return record has been held up, because I can't get a. I've had a couple different covers. And I just was like, no,
Isn't it?
this
Yeah.
record this record is better than that cover.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
It's better than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just enlisted a team, a husband and wife team.
Nice.
One is a video editor, and one is a graphic designer. So I've enlisted them to do an album cover. And also, when we did the Red Right Return record and the rehearsals, we had multicam video shot of the entire process.
Wow.
So we
Like
have
a
enough footage.
documentary with that or something? Or are you just going to music videos or okay.
Well, I mean, I guess we could do, yeah. But the goal is to do a short documentary.
That's badass. I'm like addicted to watching that kind of shit personally, where it's like anything I see where it's like, oh, these guys are in the studio and it's talking about mic placement and what kind of amps and guitars and pedals and plugins and blah blah and even just like what chords are they playing or all of it.
We didn't
Into
do
it.
that per se. I don't remember actually, because we recorded that record in 2018.
Yeah. Wow.
We recorded it in
Dang.
2000. I know. Um, I don't remember talking specifically or having a camera follow us to do that type of stuff.
Mhm.
But we did sit down and do individual interviews about
That's
the
cool.
project and how we're involved. Two guys were walking around and getting hours and hours of candid footage in the rehearsals and during the tracking part and stuff. So whatever the case may be, there's more than enough content there to make something. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you can always stream anything or string together anything to make a music video to go along with the audio.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's not a small task, and it
No.
took me a while to find somebody to take that on.
Mm.
So we have, hopefully, we will come out of it with those two incredibly important pieces of of media to
Dude, I
go
feel
along
like
with the release of that record.
you don't have to, but if you really want to have like a really successful record, like you really almost have to do all those things that you're saying. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
Like you got to have movie, you
absolutely.
got
You
to
have
have
to come out. You
video.
can't just come out and say, "Hey, I got this record. Here it is." It's
Yeah,
not enough. It's
yeah,
not even the beginning of enough.
true, true. Yeah,
You have to come out with a campaign, a scheduled campaign of this is going to get, you constantly have to be in people's faces. You have to be in their psyche, and it takes a lot of assets to do that. A lot of video assets, a lot of visual assets, a lot of audible assets. And
yeah,
for the Red Red Return record, I have that. I have that. For the CB3 thing, not so much. I'm going to have to figure out a different plan for that because I didn't do a video document documentary type of process. There's nothing. There's a little bit. I mean, I actually had one of my nephews there who is studying audio engineering and digital music production. I brought him in one day, and he
yeah.
sat there and grabbed a couple all day. He just shot videos with my phone. That's all I got.
So that's sweet though.
So
I mean, again, back to
it's
what you're
cool. I mean,
saying.
I have the sessions.
Yeah,
Like I have video footage of me and Bob and me and Oz tracking our parts live for those tunes.
cool.
I have that, but it's not like the Red Rat Return thing is that's Hollywood shit.
Yeah, cool. That's I mean, no doubt. So you're trying to look for like an editor or somebody just to kind of stitch all of it together for you, I guess.
Well, I have a person doing that. Yes,
Okay,
I
right on.
found somebody finally that could, because that's a mammoth project. That's
Yeah,
a big
video
project.
sucks. I hate editing video personally.
Me too. And I wasn't about to look. The new norm is we'll have to become all of these highly skilled professions. We all have to become our own PR agent. We have to become our
Yeah,
own video agent. We have to become our own booking agent. We have to do all of these things.
yeah.
And
I'm doing it right now.
some of them I can do, and some of them I can't. And one of them, video editing, I have found to be a very dangerous wormhole.
Yeah, dude. It's
The
hard.
time that you can
Yeah,
lose, like you can be video editing and look up the clock and go, "Holy shit! I've been sitting here for 6 hours,
yeah, yeah. And you
and
got
I
like,
haven't eaten, I haven't stood up, and I'm not even halfway done with
yeah,
this."
and I haven't
So
even touched the guitar, and
yeah, I mean, there's all that too. So there's video editing I try to pass off at every juncture.
mm,
That is one I don't want to screw with. One that I'm about to try because it is, if there is one piece of media or there's one type of thing that has consistently bottlenecked everything that I have tried to do, it's graphic design.
mm.
At
Why
every
why do you
turn,
say that?
whether you need a flyer or you need just
Oh,
a little
sure.
piece of
Okay.
artwork here,
Yeah.
for this part of your website, graphic design has been the absolute most frustrating thorn in my side when it comes to this world of being an independent musician.
I agree with that. The longest thing that took me from getting t-shirts was not having a good logo. And I couldn't find fucking anybody that would make me a logo. And it was just like, this is the easiest thing in the world. Like I just literally just need text, and then like
I
uh,
fought tooth and nail to get the CB3 stuff done and the speed that it got done. I had to
sure,
really
that too.
be on top of the people that I was communicating with, and they thankfully appreciated what I was trying to do and got it done because it's not easy. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of back and forth, and
True.
they got it done in a time that was very short. But man, just even getting a flyer for a gig, if you don't start that process with a graphic designer, at least, well,
Dude,
you should be. in front of
For
the gate
me, I think
promotion
it's
wise
kind of
anyway.
interesting. Like the venues always ask me to make the flyer, and I'm like, I'm not a fucking graphic designer. And then like, and then they're like asking me to make all these
They're asking
pages
you
and
to
shit.
service them for something that they need. Right, fine.
Yeah,
And they think that you have this means to do it, whether it's you that have the skills, because a lot of
yeah,
people, for better or worse, but then or you have connections, or you have a network of people that do this stuff.
yeah.
Man,
That's not always the case, dude. Like just asking to make me a flyer, or for me to make the flyer, I'm like, oh man, this can take forever.
exactly.
Like,
Yes, it is. And also it takes forever to someone else to do it. So when I go to other people that are good at doing that stuff,
yeah,
rightfully they come back to me and say, I'll try to fit you in, because
mm,
look, if you're looking for a job in this world, anybody who has any interest in drawing things
yeah,
or just creating things, I'm telling you, there there is not enough graphic designers.
mm.
There's just not, because everyone I talk to that's good
I think I
is
only know like
slammed
one.
with work.
Like that's like their actual, professional gig that they're a graphic designer. I think I know one person. Like that's pretty.
I know many, and
Yeah.
every one of them is cannot keep up with the work.
Mm. Well, word.
So
I
yes,
might I
man,
might
it is.
switch professions for the time being. Because I don't think I make bad art. That's the other thing though. Is like I'm pretty proud of most of the digital stuff I can make. But I also took like Adobe Photoshop and like, computer classes since I was like a child, and I went to college and blah blah blah. It's like I have like pretty decent especially with YouTube, you can do some pretty nice stuff, but it's like the time, like you're saying, is really the biggest thing for me. It's like I don't necessarily want to unless I have to. And that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, these are open. Yeah.
John just got a little package in the mail from one of the colleges that he applied to, and it was microwave popcorn. Like they couldn't know him any better.
What college?
Albernia. So they were popping in to make sure he was enjoying movies at home.
Okay. All right. I'll be up in a second to get some lunch.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay. Yeah, let's start to wrap it up, as things are
Yeah,
pulling me in different directions in
totally.
this COVID-19 world. So
I feel it. Yeah, we're probably about to do the same. It's still fucking snowing outside. I can't believe that shit.
oh man, that's insane. I mean, it's not warm here. It's like
Yeah,
high 40s and stuff, and which is still kind of disappointing for mid-May, but
yeah,
it's not it's not snowing.
yeah,
Damn.
totally.
All right. Well,
It was a pleasure. Thanks for letting me pick your brain, and definitely
yeah.
look
Thank you.
forward
Good
to the
luck with your Friday thing. When you see Bob, talk to Bob. Tell him I said hello. And
dude, yeah, that's been a crazy thing. I mean, I've known Bob for a little bit. We went to the same school. I took a lesson with him once
what
in
school?
North Texas.
Oh, okay, great. You guys went to school together. Oh, that's
Like
awesome. I
not
didn't
at
know
the
that.
same time, but we have like mutual friends, I guess, through kind of
Sure.
pathway of
Seems
people.
like a small community out there.
Yeah, definitely. And so I reached out, and he was just like super supportive. And I've met him once, but it's kind of random all the times we've crossed paths. But he's
One of the better dudes you're going to meet. Another fantastic human being.
no doubt, yeah, he's always so chill every time I talk to him, and I'm like, I don't understand how you're so cool. Just so chill. Not even cool. That's not the right word. He just seems like he's very. I mean, his master class was on meditation. I was like, what a baller. you know.
Yeah. Well, trust me, there is definitely some energy in there. When it pops out, it's a lot of fun to be around. I'll just leave it at that.
Cool.
So, cool. All right, man. Well, have a good rest of the day. I'm sorry if you have to go outside and shovel snow. I definitely, absolutely know that reality all too well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my apartment complex does that for me, thank God. But
Oh, well, good for you, because
for
I'm a
sure.
homeowner and no one
Yeah.
does it for me.
Totally. Well, thank you, bro. Have a good
Excellent.
one. Peace out.
All right, brother.
Be
Take
safe.
care.